Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications as I'm sharing everyday great contents for you. Alright guys, in this video we will continue with loggings. If I do type the codes quickly, I can continue straight away with the Serilog, but if it's gonna take too long, I'm gonna make it two different lessons. Let's start adding our logging first, and we can see what's gonna happen next. Alright, perfect. Let's go to application assembly and click the abstraction, right click on behavior, add new class. Let's say logging behavior, perfect. Control RG, make it public, and this behavior will have T response and T, actually is that T request first, right? Yeah, T request and T response. Then we're going to implement our pipeline behavior, T request and the T response. Perfect. Then we're going to define T request and T response, where T request must be I base request, which is, let's have a look what let's have a look the definition of I base request. As you can see, all I request implement the I base request, so we can track I base request to iterate all requests come from the user. Alright, so we need to define the T response, but before that, if you remember, in our messaging section we add ibase command. This is no more useful for us. I'm gonna delete it because I just created this for validation pipeline, but if you remember, we changed my mind and I cancel using front validation. Now we can delete ibase command. Okay, then we're going to define the T response, and the response is going to be a result, but result is at the accepting type, so we need to assign this result for interface. Then we're able to define what the T response is, and we're able to reach is not successful property in result. So let's go back to domain now, abstraction. I'm gonna create a new interface. Let's say I loggable, and this I loggable interface will have is not successful property. Let me have a look. Perfect. Let's close it. Then result class will implement this interface loggable. Perfect. There is no error. Seems perfect. Let's have a look at the loggable interface. Let's check is not successful. As you can see, 5 reference we have for that property. It means they are all connected and they are working. Now the T response can be an I loggable. Perfect. It sounds very nice. Let's implement our interface. Let's make it async. Let's switch the presentation to vertical design. Anything else should I add? I need to add my iLogger. Let's add iLogger, and the request will be represented, and let's say logger, and I'm going to define my field, private field, Perfect. All I need to do now, defining my logic in this section. Okay, perfect. First of all, I'm going to get name of the request because I need to demonstrate which request is happening, which request is failed. So let's get the name of the request. Request name, request dot get type dot name. Perfect. Then I'm going to use a try catch block. Let's use logger dot log information. I'm going to tell the users the process is just being started, executing request name, comma, oops, sorry, request name. Now we can initialize the request var result, await next. Then we're going to check the result. If it's successful, we can continue the process. If it's not, we need to log it. Alright, if result is not successful, let's have a look how many property we have. As you can see, we only have is not successful, which is coming from iLoggable. Yeah, if it's not successful, basically I'm gonna log an error, logger log error. Then let's say I'm thinking request processed with error, I guess is a good naming. Request processed with error, and I need to give the request name as well. Let's give an request name, request name. Yeah, perfect. Let's say request name. All done. Alright guys, if is successful, all I need to do is, let me think for a second, else. I'm gonna use else logger log information, request processed with successfully. Let's copy this section. Yep, request processed successfully. And this is the request name. Perfect. Anything else should I? Yeah, we have exception here. I'm gonna add the exception, and let's add logger dot log error exception request process failed. I think it's a good explanation for the situation. Let's add this request processed processing failed. I think it seems all good to me. Let me have a look. Is there anything should I add? So we have a problem here. Let's have a look. So we don't, okay, we need to return our results. Return results. Perfect. I'm assuming this section is completed. Let me have a look quickly. Is there anything should I add? So yeah, we add our logging. We need to add now our behavior in our service registration. Let's come our registration section, config.add open behavior, type of logging behavior. Perfect. It seems all good to me. Yeah, we add everything now. Logging behavior done. Result is done. Alright, now I'm going to continue with adding Serilog. It's just been 10 minutes. Now I'm going to add required libraries to API project. Right click on it, manage NuGet packages. I'm gonna add Serilog first, and it's going to be Serilog ASP.NET Core. I'm waiting the NuGet package bring me the, yeah, this is the Serilog ASP.NET Core. Where it's gone? Yeah, this is the one I need. Let's install it. Apply. I'm waiting. I guess done. Yep, perfect. So next one, I'm going to download the Serilog Seq. Let's click this one, install it. Apply. Perfect. It's all done. Now let's go to program CS file. We're going to add our configuration section. I'm just have a quick look my notes. Yeah, all we need to do now, let's add our settings. Builder dot host dot use Serilog, and we're going to give context and configurations. Now context configuration, if I'm able to do it, yeah, perfect. Now configuration, oops, configuration dot read from dot configuration context of configuration. Alright guys, now I'm going to add, where is the exception handler? Yeah, just above the exception handler, I'm going to add my Serilog here. Use Serilog request logging. Perfect. So both of them is done. Next one, we're going to go to appsettings.json. Let's go. Now I'm going to delete existing logging settings, and I'm going to bring my own settings specified for Serilog. I'm just gonna make a copy and paste from my notes. Here we go. You can pause the video and write one by one, or you can just go to my repo and copy and paste. First of all, if you hover over using section, you will able to see there is a web page, documentation web page. You can have more information by reading this web page, and these are for minimum level of the loggings, and these are where the application write our loggings. So it's going to be console and seek, but basically we're going to use seek. This is the arguments of the seek, and we are giving the server URL, which is going to be a Docker object. So these are the information what is going to be written in log information. Okay, Let's define our compose YAML file. Let me minimize everything. Let's go to docker compose. So I'm going to add a new section, new service. Okay, let's say the name is going to be dot, let's say Serilog. Perfect. Then we need to give an image. What is the problem here? Why are we receiving error? Is there any? Yeah, one space extra we used. Always try to keep those lines, guy. Okay, two space and image. Image is going to be data lost 2022 latest. I assuming, let me check from my notes if it's correct. I'm just checking now. Yeah, we need to, no, this is yeah, this is wrong. Literally I just made up my mind. Sec latest. Okay, image has been done. We need to define a container name and environment. I'm gonna copy and paste from here basically to make things easier. Container name going to be YouTube Serilog, and the environment is accept EULA equal Y, and the port is going to be the Serilog port works 5341 to 5341, and to use that port, this is the server port, guys, so we're going to consume the port, expose and consume a port for dashboard. So I'm going to use 99. This 999090 is just random port I'm just using right now, and it is going to connect 80 inside of the container. So basically if we use 9090 port, we're able to connect the dashboard of the Serilog. Okay, we can delete this volume which is belong to SQL Server, and this is the network. It seems to me all connected. Is there anything should I add? I'm just checking quickly. Seems all good to me. All I need to do, give that service name to my appsettings.json as a server URL to connect easily. Let's save everything. I'm assuming we able to connect the Serilog. Let's try to run the application. Let's see. As you can see, this Serilog is already raised once I type my YAML file, but I'm just going to run docker compose and see what's gonna happen now. This is quite weird. It just initialized the container once I finished typing YAML file. Alright, I'm just waiting. If it's not work, I'm just gonna delete all the contents and create a new one. So let's have a look. Local 99, perfect. As you can see, be able to reach our logging sequence. Alright, let's try to do some queries. Let's try to get all customers. We have an breakpoint here, I guess. As you can see, there's a breakpoint in logging. We just hit the breakpoint. I'm just gonna remove it because we are going to log off them. Let's continue. I'm waiting. As you can see, we get the result. Let's have a look the seek. Let's refresh the page. Now I'm looking, did we log the change our messages? Executing endpoint. This is the get executing request. I guess this is our error message. executing request. Yep, request get all customers query processed successfully. This is our message as well. As you can see, it seems working perfectly fine. And I would like to receive a couple of errors. So let me have, okay, how can I do that? Let me have a look. I need a scenario for that. Actually, I'm gonna receive a validation exception first to see how our exception middleware, because we have a logging here as well. As you can see, we are logging our exception. Let's try to trigger the exception first. Then I would like to see is, how can I say, failed with process one. Let's minimize these first. Oops, we minimized too many. Okay, let's go to Swagger. So I'm gonna open my post request. Let's say try it out. Let's delete everything and try to execute it. As you can see, we received a payload format error. Let's have a look. Run the application. As you can see, we have an exception here. Exception occurred. Let's have a look. YouTube API clean active domain exception payload was thrown. Is there any error messages here? Let me have a look. I'm just checking. It must be around here. Exception was thrown. Do we sharing our exception message? Let me have a look again. Okay, this is the exception message. Do we have an exception message here? I'm gonna check that. If we don't have an exception message, I'm gonna change this logging. Okay, let's try to have this error again. Okay, do we have any exception message? The exception message is this. Okay, this is the exception message. The YouTube API connected domain exception payload format exception was thrown. Alright, we're not able to see the actual message what we created. Should I keep that one? Let me think about it. I'm gonna think about it, and maybe we can share our validation errors comes from exception. Let me have a look the inside of it. Do we have any related messages here? Yep, errors, error messages. Yeah, here we go. Errors and error messages. Okay, let's keep that in our mind and let's see what's gonna happen. So now I'm going to try to have a validation exception. Let's add a little bit more string. Execute. As you can see, the field title must be a string or array type with a maximum length of 45. This is a validation error. Let's have a look. Seek. As you can see, validation exception was thrown again. Alright, I think the exception exact message must be shown here. It must be better, I'm assuming. Okay, let's keep this on my mind. Then I need to throw another error on a successful site to create a fake failure process. I will go to application. I will go to, where is my queries? Close abstraction, features, customers. Let's go to queries, get all customer, query handler. Alright, so we're returning. Okay, I'm gonna make it a fail, just temporary. Return result. Oh my god. Result customer response collection dot failed. Let's say the status code is going to be, let's say 400, and the error, how many overload do we have? So error code and error message, let's say test.error, and the error message, it is working fine. Alright, let's run the application, try to get all customer and see what's gonna happen with that error message. I'm waiting my application to be built. Alright, try it out, execute. We're going to get a fail. As you can see, we received test error, it is working fine. Okay, let's have a look our structure logging. 99, run again, perfect. Okay. As you can see, request gets all customers query processed with error. Let's click it. I'm just checking if everything is correct. Actually, we're not sharing the exact error message here, I'm assuming, yeah. So we're just giving information what's happening over there, so we can track it here actually. Yeah, this is what's happening after all, and this is really useful, guys. For example, let's click this error, and there is a request ID here and connection ID. For example, let's say this is a source context. Let's copy. We can filter it by source context. Let's try to filter it. As you can see, we're able to see all requests comes from this gets all customer query section, and also let's remove them all. We can track by using request ID. As you can see, this is the these are all the about these requests. So we start, let me have a look. Yeah, we start the request, we execute the endpoint, the route has been matched, and the request has been executed. This is the SQL syntax of the command, and this is the where we get error failing, and it goes like that. And as you can see, this is the response 400 with the status code, and this is the path, and the source context request logging middleware, which we added while we adding our Serilog. And this is the very end of our request lifecycle. Perfect. I'm assuming you understand how we add logging and how we able to use them. It's almost 30 minutes. I'm gonna add one more thing, and then I'm going to finish this lesson. Let's close everything quickly. Let's take this back again, because I don't want my application to be crashed because of testing. Let's save everything. close all tabs, minimize all. Now I'm trying to add error messages as well, and I'm going to add a kind of ID for tracing our logs much more efficiently. Let's add this ID first, then we can add the error messages after we add our correlance ID. Okay, so I'm going to create a new middleware on my API. Let's go to middleware. Let's create a new class, request context logging middleware. I must swap up in fat finger, guys. Logging middleware, perfect. Control RG. I'm gonna copy and paste from my previously created notes to make things faster, because it's already been more than 30 minutes. Okay, this is the correlation ID header name. So we are just looking this correlation ID header in our logs. Basically, this is a middleware, guys, and this is, we're going to get the correlation ID and we're going to push that property into our logs. This is basically what it does. So to find out the correlation ID, we just look in the request headers with this keyword, and we're going to get correlation ID. If we couldn't get any correlation ID, we are going to use the trace identifier as an ID. This is how it's using. Now let's go to extensions, application builder extensions, and let me copy and paste again for middleware. But this is our context logging. Alright, let's go to program CS file, and it must be located just above our Serilog logging. Oops. Perfect. Now let's continue to add our, how can I say, error messages. So let's go to logging again, login behavior. This is what we created normally. Now I'm going to a little bit update it. So basically, if we have an error, I'm going to, where is this is the error section, right? Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to add using log context push put, but we need to implement the, we didn't add it. We didn't add our Serilog. Okay, so we add our Serilog in API project, but we need to add this here as well. Okay, let's add here as well. Is there any chance to add quickly? So we have install package Serilog here. Use local version. Let's use this one. I'm just add quickly the normal Serilog, not the ASP, not NETCore, because we don't need it here. We're just using this log context push property method. Push property, yeah, it is going to named with error. So I'm going to send, okay, we need to send the error messages, but our loggable, it's not, it doesn't have the error messages. So I'm going to add another property Let's have a look at the domain abstraction result. Where's my error messages? Here we go. Let's add this here as well. Perfect. Let's have a look. Is there any problem on result? It means we don't have any problem. 3 reference. Perfect. Let's close everything. So I'm going to get result dot errors dot error messages. I think it's going to be alright, but it says nullable, but there is no chance to be null because we have is not successful true, so I'm just ignoring these error messages. Okay, the third parameter, it says the structure object true. Perfect. And let's get inside. Now I'm going to add my log just inside here, but I need to add, I guess, one more bracket. Control KD. Perfect. Now I'm going to do the same thing to exception section. Let's go to API project, global exception handler middleware. So let's copy everything what I did here and let's paste, but this time I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna paste this. You know what, actually we don't have any result here, so we have here exception dot, I'm gonna use exception message here. By this login behavior we used to all the should I use like this? Okay, I'm gonna give a shot. Exception error, where is the errors? Exception dot, we have, is that message? Where is the errors here? All right, is that in message? Oh my god. All right, let's use message for now. Once we try, I'm gonna put a bracket. I'm gonna see what's happening on that. First of all, I would like to try how it's working. Let's save everything and let's minimize everything. I need a fake error again. Let's go to features, customers, queries, get all customer handler. Let's make it fail again and test.error. Error message is going to be initial test. Anything else? Let's save it. Perfect. Is there anything should I add? What if, I'm just thinking, what if, okay, I'm gonna do another changes on products, another test, get all products for multiple error. Where is the perfect? Let's make it failed and let's delete them all. Let's create new error. Error code is going to be test multi, or just test.error, and error messages. Oh, sorry, this is error messages. Error must be the code. Yep, error messages, test 1, comma, test 2. Alright, so let's test these two endpoints and with an exception. Let's see what kind of result are we going to get. To be honest, I'm really wondering what's gonna happen. I didn't test it before. I'm just going to learn with you guys. It's the best part of having videos. It's already been 40 minutes again. I'm sorry, but that's me. I always doing long videos, guys. I just don't want to interrupt this whole thing. It's all about login and Serilog. Alright, customers. Let's try to get all customers. See what's gonna happen. Alright, this is test error initial test. Let's have a look our logs. Alright, request get all customers. As you can see, we have a correlation ID, and this is the error, and this is the error message initial test. Perfect, it's working very nice. This is what I was expecting to have. We're receiving the error messages. Okay, let's try to have products and with the multi error messages. So we have two different error message. Let's run. This is the, as you can see, we received all the error messages here. Perfect. All we need to do is do the same thing for exception section. Okay, now let's try to get a validation exception. Let's execute. This is the exception. Alright, this is the correlation ID. Error, as you can see, the message, we already have the message, but as an error we received the same message. We need to give here our real exception message. Okay, to find out that, I'm going to put a breakpoint because I couldn't find where the message is located. I'm going to put a breakpoint and I'm going to replicate the error message again. Let's execute. Perfect. Let's go to exception. So on the errors, we have a place called errors here. This is weird. There is no object called errors. Yeah, of course I couldn't find, because the exception errors defining in the specific exception, underneath the exception naming. So okay, I understand what the problem is. All we need to do is fixing the issue. We just need to convert this exception to related one. Let's continue. Okay, let's close everything. Stop the application. Actually, we're already converting them. All we need to do is take these logging just underneath these exception details, because we already have exception details here. All I need to do is exception details dot errors, error messages. Perfect. And I know these errors cannot be null. Let's run the application. I'm assuming now it works very nice and smooth. I'm waiting my application to be put. Oh my god, it's already became 45 minutes. Okay, let's go to customer, try it out, add lots of string here, execute it. What's the problem? Yeah, we got the error message. Let's go to Serilog. Here we go. This is the error message. The field title must be a string or array, blah 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 blah. Perfect, guys. All done. We completed our logging and Serilog section. Well done, guys. I assume you understand everything. I'm just closing everything, minimize everything, save all project perfectly. Alright guys, I'm assuming you will like this video. If you crash the like button, I will be really appreciated, and if you drop comment below the video, I will be really happy, man, because the YouTube algorithm using these inputs to make my videos more visible to other users. Take care of yourself. See you on next lesson. Bye bye.